President Muhammadu Buhari has unveiled the Blue Line Rail project in Lagos. It's one of several projects he inaugurated on his two-day official visit to Lagos State. Arise correspondent Tokumbo Oyetunji reports.
Day 2 of President Buhari's official visit to Lagos. It started with more projects commissioning, beginning with the Randle Center for Yoruba Culture and History at Onikon. A short distance away from there is the marina terminal of the Lagos Blue Line Rail project, scheduled to be inaugurated as part of the president's itinerary for the state visit on the second day.
The man to the left, the man to the right.
There was excitement in the air as the #1 citizen unveiled the plaque signifying the official start of operation for the Lagos Metro service. But hold on a second for speeches to explain what the Blue Line is all about and what it means for the emerging mega city.
It's expected to move 250,000 candidates when it begins commercial sector. Today, Mr. President, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, history is being made as we gather from the most audacious project to be funded by a sub-national in Africa. The Lagos Blue Line project. 37-kilometer rail system from Marina to Omotosho, which is west of Lagos. Its construction was divided into phases for ease of implementation. It is expected to move more than 500,000 passengers when the entire line is eventually completed.
The benefits, Mr. President, are obvious. It will reduce travel time, it will improve the quality of life of our citizens, and it will make Lagos one of the most resilient mega cities, not only in Africa, but it will compete with other mega cities in the world. And Mr. President, it is also on track that we will be commissioning the Red Line before the end of your administration. That, in fact, is even a bigger, better, longer rail corridor, which we're excited with the collaboration of the Nigerian Railway Corporation, where we're sharing the rail corridor.
Signing of more agreements for the next phase of the project. And then, that moment when the president and other officials hopped on the train for the first ride before it opens to the public.
It will grow the economy of Lagosians, and when it comes to timing, it saves more time for them so that they can do after much time to do their business and carry out an assignment, daily assignments and activities.
One of the things that make a mega city is the train system. Lagos happens to be one of the mega cities of the world without train system. And of course, if you look at Lagos State, if you look at our population of over 20 million people, and then the downfall that we are using cannot solve our problem, and it's affecting us economically because transportation drives the economy. So if you're able to get people to their destination, that means it's going to impact positively on the economy of the state, and this is exactly what we have been able to do.
And with what we saw on ground today at the commissioning ground, the pride, everything about this excellent job that has been put on ground, you could read it on everybody's face.
Some historic moments for Lagos, Nigeria's commercial nerve center, as the city's metro line, its first phase has just been unveiled by President Muhammadu Buhari, who equally witnessed the signing of the contract for the second phase of the project, after which he was joined by other dignitaries, including Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, his cabinet members, as well as other Nigerians, to embark on the first ride of the service. We are on what I call the second ride of the service for the day from Marina to the National Theatre end, and we can confirm to you that the journey takes exactly 9 minutes to travel. The authorities have equally assured us that the Red Line will come on anytime before the end of this year. That's some real transformation happening to the ever chaotic transportation sector in the city that is most populous in Nigeria. Tokunbo Oyetunji, Arise News, Lagos.
Thank you, Tokumbo. Joining us now on the show is Gbenga Omotosho, Commissioner for Information, Lagos State. Good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome to the morning show.
Thank you.
Well, I'm curious about something. This is the second time the Lagos State government will be inaugurating this Bluerail line. There was an inauguration in December. There's another one again in January. What's the difference? And when exactly will passenger services commence? And then secondly, you know, as an editor, columnist, commentator, and everything, I'd like you to comment on the irony of President Buhari being the person, you know, again inaugurating and signing the contract, you know, for the second phase of this same Bluerail line. Considering, as Business Day pointed out on his front page today, that the president is commissioning the same project that he killed 38 years ago. That was how Business Day put the story on their front page.
Thank you so much. First, let me, on behalf of Mr. Governor, Mr. Baide Sanwo-Olu, thank the people of Lagos for the wonderful reception they gave to the president while he visited for 2 days. And then talking about the commissioning of the Blue Line that President Buhari performed yesterday. What happened the other time which you spoke of wasn't the commissioning of the project itself. It was the completion of the infrastructure, all of the tracks, all of the everything, the signalization, everything that we needed to say this is ready for commissioning. That was what happened at that time. It wasn't the commissioning of the service itself, of the Blue Line completely, and to say that public can now use it, it is ready for use. What happened at that time was the completion of the infrastructure. And I think, like everybody, you feel that it's like when you complete a house, you can now bring people in to come and see it and then do a kind of test run. The test run continues now, even after the commissioning by Mr. President, so that people will know how to use the services, how to use the turnstile, the kind of places they can study the place, how to go to, how to see the conveniences there and all of the things. So I'm talking about the irony of President Buhari coming to inaugurate the project. I do not see anything untoward in it. As for us in Lagos, it's a thing of joy. We are not talking about whether this particular project was stopped at some time or not. This particular one that we are talking about is quite different from the one you are talking about, the metro line. This one was conceptualized by the Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration, and then successive administrations after that, they've been following up on the thing until Mr. Baide Sanwo-Olu promised, resolved that he was going to complete it, and thank God he has completed it now. So anybody is now going into this of President Buhari about 43 years ago stopped the project is not the complete story.
All right, thank you. So there was a question around when would it be open to the public officially? So when can the Lagos residents start to use the Bluerail line? Is it from today?
Now, we are going to be taking people, journalists, professional associations, engineering
for another
groups.
inauguration?
No, on board for them to see how it's going to run, for them to see what what it looks like, for them to see how to use all the facilities before we now say people should come on board and pay.
Okay, is there a timeline for this?
Not any moment from now. It's no more any big deal. Yesterday there were hundreds of people on board, and everything was safe and everything was fine. So it's no big deal at all.
Okay.
Let me just ask on timelines, because I was just wanting him to complete Doctor's question. Still on timeline, yesterday the president witnessed the signing of the MOU between for the construction of the second phase of the rail line.
Right.
At the beginning, when this was announced, the president had said that the governor had said the blue and red line rail would be open and ready by December of 2022. So we've missed that mark. Do you know when the Red Line Rail would be completed? And then, just timelines for Lagosians, because like we've seen, it's such a beautiful and useful tool for transportation, but we also want to know when we'll be able to start using it.
The Red Line, like Mr. Governor said, is going to be completed and inaugurated first quarter of this year. It has a lot of work, but the beautiful thing and the symbolic thing about it is that the Red Line was started by Mr. Sanwo-Olu during his administration, and he promised that during his administration, this first time, he's going to complete it. And I assure you it's going to be completed. There has been delays about building all the overpasses because we are building so many. And then the weather didn't help matters at all. We thought that the race were going to stop early enough, but they couldn't. So the contractors were a bit delayed. But now the work is almost done. And any moment from now, maybe this first quarter is going to be completed and inaugurated.
Okay, I mean, kudos and congratulations. We all want to see this level of development in Lagos, which we're excited about. And I can't wait to get on the train, myself. But real quickly, how is it powered? I understand it's electricity powered. Was there an electricity line that powered the first two journeys that we had on this rail line already?
This blue line is the first of its type in Africa that is going to be powered by its own electricity. It has its own dedicated IPP. So, and apart from that, I think there are about 4 power sources. So the question of you're on the train and then there is a power outage and we begin to panic is out of it.
Have the electricity lines been built?
The electricity lines, yes, built.
Okay, but did it power the first two, the first two tests?
It was used yesterday.
Okay, it was the electricity that powered it yesterday.
Yeah, it was used yesterday. And then the most important thing about this is that Lagosians have been warned that this is not a time, the kind of tracks on which you can go and be displaying wares. It's been fenced off, and there are notices all over the place telling people not to go near the tracks because they are electrified. Anybody who goes there, it could be fatal. Not just it could be fatal, it's fatal for anybody to go there. So it's all powered by electricity.
Okay. There's another project that the president also visited yesterday, shown on the screen. That's the J.K. Randle Center for Yoruba Culture and History. And I understand it's around the Unicon Stadium, where you have the National Museum. Can you tell us about that and, what the goals are in terms of promoting tourism and preserving culture and history?
First, a correction about the name. It's not J.K. Randle. It's J. Randle, John Randle, not J.K. Randle. John Randle, Center for Yoruba Culture and History.
John Randle is the father. J.K. Randle is the son.
No, J.K. Randle is just the Randle family. This one is a white man who donated this for public use, a swimming pool. This was first built in 1928. And the bold attempt by the government of Mr. Sanwo-Olu is to just refurbish the swimming pool. But then we had the other grandiose ideas of how to use this place as a tourist site, of how to attract tourism and build it's a kind of the urban regeneration program of the Buhari Sanwo-Olu administration around Unicon, where you have this facility, which is the first of its kind, at least here in Lagos. There are other tourist attractions, tourist sites that people can visit. So this one started as an attempt to revive that swimming pool that was built in 1928, and now it's become something very big, where you can learn about Yoruba culture, the impact of Yoruba culture on our music, on our arts, on every architecture, on everything that has to do with Yoruba history, and where you can see all of those things that people may have forgotten that they belong to us, some artifacts that have been brought from overseas, and so many other things that have to do with Yoruba history. So for us in Lagos, it's an edifice that we are proud of because it's symbolic of our attempt to make our young ones to realize that history is very important, to realize that Yoruba culture is very rich, to realize that Yoruba culture is something that we need to sell to the world. And a bold attempt by the government to invite and attract tourists to this central part of Lagos.
Who is going to manage that center? Because I recall that sometime in the past, Another administration in Lagos State built, like a mini theater in some part of Lagos. That appears to have been abandoned. What is the plan for managing this and sustaining it as a center for culture?
Now, the mini theaters are alive and they are running, apart from, I think, one of them that was destroyed when we had riots in Lagos. But this particular one is going to be managed by consultants who are experts in that field. And when you get there, you see the signs and symbols that these guys who are going to be managing it, they really know their onions and they know what to do. These are people who have a world experience. These are people who know what the kind of this kind of place should be and what it symbolizes for us. So it's going to be managed with third sense of seriousness and with very high technical expertise of people who are going to be managing it and running it. There are people that you will be proud of. If you get there, you see the facilities, how solid they are, how good they are, and you know that you really need serious people to maintain them. And we are such people.
Talking about the culture of maintenance, my question was actually going to be around maintenance of the rail line. One of the things we've talked about is that when infrastructure is built for the people, after a while, it is abandoned. Is there a plan in terms of, are there contracts for ensuring that, it looks so beautiful looking at the video, but maintenance. And then on price, do you have an idea of how much it would cost for Lagosians to use this rail line, and how you've talked about using the Cowrie contactless card for payments, which can be used across other transportation vehicles provided by the Lagos State government. Could you tell us a bit more about that, please?
First, the price is not something that is going to cut anybody's neck. Everywhere in the world, transportation is not something that the government relies on to make huge revenue. But what I can tell Lagosians is that they should just look at the gains of this facility. It reduces journey time, all of the stress that we go through, the journey from Marina now to Mile 2 that takes by road about 2 hours in the best of time is now going to be about less than 20 minutes. And yesterday, we rode on that train to go to National Theatre and come back less than 10 minutes. So it says that comfort that Lagosians, that they deserve, that the government is looking at, not even how much to charge or anything that will make anybody to complain. I can assure you it's not the price that they are going to charge that will make anybody to complain about high prices. And then talking about maintenance, don't forget, it's going to be run by people who are really experienced, people who have done it in London, in Chicago, so many other places all over the world where you have this kind of facility. And then so many of our young people, they are going to be working here, and young engineers who have been trained to keep these facilities running and alive all of the time. So maintenance of it, and then the engineers who are the builders, they are still around, putting our people through. They have been working with them. So the maintenance of it is nothing to worry about.
Okay, so just some quick clarification. It was John Randle, which was a Sierra Leonean, which is actually the grandfather of J.K. Randle, Okay. And he built it. He built the swimming pool in the 1920s because a lot of Lagosians were drowning in the water in the seas then. So he built it as a community service to be able to teach them how to swim. So I know a fair amount of that project because I was part of it. I want to specifically ask about most of the artifacts is in partnership with the London Museum. Right. How is that conversation going? What's the Ministry of Tourism doing as regards keeping those conversations and exploring other areas? And concerning the Imota rice mill, I want to ask, hope you have paddy stock, because that's always a problem with good rice mills. If you don't have a paddy stock, what's the steady supply of paddy like for that rice mill? Just two questions as we wrap up.
Well, for the John Randle Museum, you are correct that it's a family that we are handed over to the government from generation to generation. But the thing is that it's not, since it's been taken away from the family, the government has felt that it should do something about it. It was donated as a public, for public use, because it was not being well managed by people who were there before. It was run down. So this, what the government has done is a bold attempt to revive it and put other facilities there, like an exhibition center for about 1,000 square meters, which you can visit and see the artifacts that we are talking about. And those artifacts that you are talking about coming from the London Museum, Mr. Governor himself has been there with some of our officials to have discussions with them. And I feel that the discussions are fine. I'm sure that some of the artifacts may have even come in here. If they are not here yet, I'm sure very soon they will be here because all of that has been settled.
All right, as regards the mortar rice mill, is there a steady stream of paddy?
Yeah, there's going to be a steady stream of paddy. Rice is well grown almost all over southwest. And then now the farmers are going to have correct prices for their sweat. They are going to be, so many people are now going into it because they have seen that a mortar rice mill has come alive. But apart from that, before we started the factory, we connected so many companies that can supply paddy. We encourage farmers to form cooperatives and then encourage them to get facilities for them to be able to improve on their yield. And then some of them even got seedlings that are very good enough that can make their yield to at least double. So getting paddy, we have done everything to put that steady. And I think, it's well grown all over in some parts of the country too. We are in touch with them.
How about everybody's farms?
Yeah, everybody's excited to come and supply the Lagos rice mill in mortar paddy. So I do not think it's going to be a problem at all.
Okay, Omotosho, just before you go, maybe this will be a takeaway. Someone sent this, somebody you know very well, I don't want to mention his name. He says, the current head of Randle family is up in arms against the Lagos state government on the way the land was taken from the family without consultation. You may wish to ask Gbenga about this. J.K. Randle is the head of the family. I don't know whether you know the details.
Well, I have seen some things flying around on social media about this particular argument about how it was taken and all of that. But the question is that people should now look at if a facility is donated for public use and then it was run down and nobody was taking care of it and it was abandoned, became an orphan, and the government of Mr. Bayede Sanwo-Olu is saying, no, this cannot happen right in the heart of Lagos. And it has come around to say, let us fix this place. And everybody has seen it now. The whole world has seen it on television everywhere, what the facility has become. So I do not think the talk about the family, not in agreement with what the government has done, how the land was taken, should now be a question now. The question is that this thing is for public use and it's for public good and it's for the good of all of us and it's for the good, it's a symbolic of what we as Lagosians can do, to make things better, not, time for us to be arguing about who did what, who did not do what.
Okay, on that note, Honorable Commissioner for Information, Lagos State, Gbenga Omotosho, would like to thank you very much.